Okay, let's start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Esri Developer Summit 2021 highlight session. My name is Bernard Rixen. I'm a senior GIS engineer at Esri Belux, and I'm accompanied here by many colleagues from our sales department, but also professional services. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to chat, and they will take time to answer during this session. We will also have at the end a Q&A session. Last month, like every year, Esri brought together several thousands of developers, application designers, and data scientists for its developer summit. But unlike previous editions, which traditionally took place in Palm Springs, California, it was carried out virtually from the Esri's headquarters. If you weren't online, we have put together a summary of the highlights from the plenary session and the many tech sessions for you into a top 10 list. So we have muted your microphone, but don't hesitate to interact on the chat. So ArcGIS is a powerful GIS system consisting of the following main components. ArcGIS Online, the software as a service solution, offering a complete GIS system in the cloud and with many applications available for its users. ArcGIS Enterprise, the extensible system to deploy in your infrastructure. And ArcGIS Pro, the GIS desktop software for professional geomaticians. And beside these three main components, Esri offers many development environments in the form of APIs and SDKs. This system of systems has recently been enhanced with ArcGIS platform, as you see it below, the platform as a service solution. It allows you to extend the capabilities of the whole system as you have been able to do before, but accessing location and content services, but through a new experience for you as developers. So ArcGIS platform is our first item in our top 10 list. And we are very excited to announce this new product, so-called ArcGIS Platform. It is a location-focused platform as a service for you when you need to integrate location capabilities into your apps, business systems, and products. ArcGIS Platform provides access to Esri's powerful location services using your APIs of choice, including, and this is new, open source APIs. It also allows you to create apps using ArcGIS APIs and SDKs. So to illustrate this, I move to my browser, and this is the starting page of this new experience. So if you go to developersarcgis.com, you will see this starting page. The ArcGIS platform is the name of this page and of all the resources which are behind this. So if you go here, for example, to the documentation, you will see that you have access to a lot of documentation where you can use the known SDKs and APIs from Esri, but also new APIs like Esri Leaflet, Mapbox, OpenLayer. And you have samples of code. For example, here, if I take Leaflet, to add, for example, web layers into your Leaflet code. So you have all the instruction, the prerequisites, the how to start, to set the API key, to access the, for example, the location services of the platform. And you can also have here, for example, the snippets of code that you can copy paste into your own code to do the same job. We have a lot of features. The ArcGIS platform provides you with many capabilities like adding Esri base maps, hosting your data. You can also visualize data in many ways. We provide smart mapping technologies for that. You can also access to specific location services, for example, for geocoding, routing capabilities, accessing demographic and socioeconomic data. And you can also apply spatial analysis. So here you see also how to evaluate the price. You pay as you go. So you can here evaluate how many it will cost you. And it's very simple by cursor, simple cursor, you can evaluate the usage of base maps or other resources, and it will give you the estimated amounts for that. So you see, it's really a powerful with resources, documentation, and a very competitive price for you to use. And you get also some free, a big set of free location services access. Deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence are everywhere for now, also in ArcGIS and since sometimes now. This leads us to our top 9 item. There are tens of open source data science ecosystems, and we have integrated them into the ArcGIS ecosystem. Let's take a look at our recent advancement in geospatial AI and what it can do for you. So we cover the whole process from end to end, right? From the time you access the data, as you see it on the left, and prepare it for labeling all the way through model training and validation to inferencing and being able to inference at scale in production environment. When we look at it from a user point of view, you can experience geospatial AI in different ways. So first, it starts with the core of it, and this is arcgis.com/.learn. It's a module within the Python API, and within that, you can do everything. If you go beyond, we have pre-trained models that are readily available for you to deploy into your production environment. For some of you, it will be ready, but for some other cases, you might want to bring your own data and do some transfer learning. It's like a localization process, you can say, and then you can validate and deploy it into your production environment. Then we have the aspect of bringing these models as ready-to-use tools within ArcGIS, for example, ArcGIS Pro, in your familiar environment. It's like a geoprocessing that it comes through hand. So what it looks like. So here, for example, you have the complete documentation about arcgis.learn. So the core component of deep learning functionalities. You have here the complete documentation, and you see, for example, all the methods to be able to prepare your data, to apply your deep learning logic for example, object classification, object detection, pixel classification, and more. If we go to the Python API, we see here a lot of samples. For example, if I make a search for deep learning into the page, you will see here, it should come here. So you see, for example, being able to detect swimming pools, to classify satellite imagery to detect land cover and other samples that are provided here. So if I take the classification point, the samples I have here, you are able from point cloud, for example, to extract and create 3D model of buildings automatically. And all the process, all the steps are explained and documented here. So you just need to copy paste all these snippets of codes into your notebook environment and to run it. Yes, with your own data, but you can also test it with the data provided also with these samples. We also provide a pre-trained model, and there are packaged here as deep learning packages. They are shared through ArcGIS Online, so we will provide you the link, and you can see here about 10 already existing such packages that you can directly use. For example, to detect or to classify point and detect trees, extracting building footprints, land cover classification, road extraction, power line classification. So you see many applications already pre-trained for you and to apply directly. We have more examples. Here, a small story map about specifically about imagery. Samples here that illustrates the classification and identification objects like damaged buildings after a forest fire. Why not detecting, yes, swimming pools, here land cover classification, building footprint extraction, edge detection, road extraction, change detection. So you see that there are already many applications and results available. So to illustrate that. I have more examples to show you. Here, an object detection in a 3D scene to identify windows, for instance. And these windows extraction can then be used in a line of sight analysis. This is an example of application of such deep learning analysis. Another example where we detect railway assets, for example, power lines, poles, railway tracks, and all this from a point cloud using the power line classification model. Another example using bathymetric data where we detect shipwrecks. As already mentioned, plate and face blurring. This is already illustrated before. And why not? For example, here in a video, I will move back to my browser. So here we have detection of trucks position from full motion video. Okay, it takes the deep learning package, so it identifies a truck inside the video, and because it's a georeference movie, we see on the map on the right the position of the truck that has been identified in the video. Another example in a static video from a parking, you see the green rectangle, and There we identify the cars that enters or go out of the parking, and so we can count them. So lot of example of geospatial AI. To cover the next topic in our top 10, let's move to ArcGIS Online. So ArcGIS Online is a complete mapping and analysis solution in the cloud. Because it's a software as a service, ArcGIS Online can be used anytime, anywhere. Your map scales so hundreds of or even millions of people can interact with them at the same time. Yes, and because it's a software as a service, Esri takes care of software updates and maintenance for you, so you are free to focus on your work. So as the top 8, it's worth mentioning 2 awaited applications out of beta. So the first one, ArcGIS Map Viewer, is the web mapping application to discover, explore your web resources and also to author web maps. There is now a Map Viewer Classic, so formerly known as Map Viewer, and the new Map Viewer. Both are available for production used by all customers right now. So the 2 map viewers are built using different versions of the ArcGIS API for JavaScript, and that's why they are 2. Some workflows are not yet available in the new map viewer, so the functionality guide provided in the link below will help you understand when you need to use a specific map viewer to complete your workflow. In the new map viewer, however, you will see unique functionalities. For example, you will be able to group layers, to apply layer blending, to cluster labels, to apply new smart mapping style, new charts, capabilities, sketching, and more. On the side of the dashboard, the new version is built on the ArcGIS API for JavaScript 4, so the new one, the last one. And it's now the default experience for you to create and access dashboard. So the previous version of dashboard, still available, is now called ArcGIS Dashboard Classic. The new one can load more features and faster because of the JavaScript API number 4 that is behind it. It also uses the new capabilities from the new map viewer, so it supports data expression, advanced formatting, use ArcAt, and support additional data source, new statistics, and also more feature. Since a long time, Esri was looking at ways to enable better communication and collaboration amongst teammates and colleagues. So the communication and collaboration aspects of Microsoft Teams can help provide a framework to enable more sharing and usage of GIS data and content from ArcGIS. And there we have our top 7. So ArcGIS for Teams, it's a plugin to Microsoft Teams. It allows for sharing and of geographic contents where the conversation is happening. While it is a tool to discover content from ArcGIS, a major value for you is that it will focus on the communication and collaboration, like Teams product itself. So Teams is about communication and working together, and ArcGIS for Microsoft Teams adds map to the modern workplace. So it will allow you for content search, view, and share. So these 3 main functionalities. So search, view, and share. It supports web maps, web scene, layer file, story maps, dashboard, and survey. So nearly all possible content within the ArcGIS Online. So its support for ArcGIS Enterprise will come later. So and it's planned for further release. To show you an example, so here, for example, so it's an additional application, so a plugin inside Teams. You see here a prompt where you see also what can be done. So you can make mainly some search into content that you have access to, so public content or content that you own personally inside the organization, or search content from the organization shared by your colleagues. For example, if I'm looking for search inside my org about apps, so I will make a search inside my organization for apps with the keywords of airports. It will tell me, okay, he didn't find anything. But if I'm looking to search for public content for the same kind of apps, it will list content. So I have a lot of items listed. I can visualize, for example, here that, yes, for example, the detailed information of this particular item. So I have the complete description. I'm able to open it. It's inside Teams. This is an advantage to be able to directly open it into Teams and interact with it. I'm not sure this one is really, yes, okay, you see I pan and zoom into it. Okay, so it's interactive. I can go back to the chat, also to refine the search and provide additional keywords to refine my search. What I can also do is from another chat, for example, with my colleague Wim de Riessens, I could make here a search for apps, airports. Okay, I found my content, and what I can do, I just send the item I found, so he will be able to open it right within Teams. So this was our top 7. In ArcGIS Online, we can now more easily collaborate with other ArcGIS Online organizations. And this is by establishing a partner collaboration. So this new type of collaboration allows members from 2 different organizations to share, contribute, and update content, and this through groups. So in each organization, you flag content into groups, and we established that kind of partner collaboration. So it's a trusted relationship between those 2 groups within the organization, and then you can work together. So you can work more closely in a formal relationship with members of your organization. Once the collaboration has been set, so members of both organizations can search and invite members from both organizations, and you can also edit and update content that has been shared through the group. So like a web map and apps also. Partner collaboration is new, but it's complementary to what has been already released. So the distributed collaboration, as you see it on the slide. So both enables now any organization with ArcGIS Enterprise and ArcGIS Online to work together. So it closed the loop. And this was our top 6 topic. ArcGIS has imagery and remote sensing capability. So it enables orthomapping, image and raster analysis. It also enables image visualization and exploitation, and finally, image management. As you may already know, we provide a professional desktop station through ArcGIS Pro and its image analyst extension. And this for advanced image interpretation, exploitation, and analysis. On the side of the server, ArcGIS Image Server for ArcGIS Enterprise is a distributed computing and storage system for processing and serving large image collection, and this in your own infrastructure. What is new is what we call ArcGIS Image. This is our topic 5. As part of ArcGIS Image, Esri is now offering 2 cloud-native imagery solutions. So the first one is ArcGIS Image for ArcGIS Online. So it's a complete software as a service for image management and analytics with ArcGIS Image for ArcGIS Online. So it's Esri that manages the cloud resources and software. So you just use it, you host your imagery, you analyze them, you stream your imagery, and all the infrastructure is managed by Esri. As a second cloud-native solution, we have ArcGIS Image Dedicated. So it's another software as a service solution, but in this case, your imagery is stored in Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure. So it's in your own cloud environment, but it's up to Esri to manage the cloud resources and software that user needs for their cloud storage. So both are now already in pre-release and should be launched during the summer. So now we have a complete offering of desktop, on-premise, and cloud imagery solution. During our latest Esri days, yes, last year we took some time to present you the new Field Maps app. So it's a single app that enables field workers to explore, annotate, update, and collect data, and also track, if needed, the worker's position. Whereas by the past, it had required 3 different apps, so the collector, the explorer, and tracker apps. It also provides new capabilities to data collection. For example, with more map settings to enable or disable field functionalities, but also smart forms. And this last one enhances the user experience in data collection. So for example, you are able to provide groups of fields to the field workers, to set read-only or required entries, to apply conditional visibility and more. While we are no longer at the first release of this new Field Maps app, what is new? It is that Esri has made a recent change to the bundle of apps that are included with the field workers user type. It's now, so the tracker now includes the tracker capability. But note, it's only available to the field workers and not to other user types. Those are not affected. For them, Tracker is still a premium app. And this is valid from the latest update of ArcGIS Online in March, but now with the recent release of ArcGIS Enterprise 10.9, it's also valid for this latest version. Let us move now to the side of ArcGIS Enterprise. So ArcGIS Enterprise, in one word, is the GIS data management, mapping, and analysis system in your infrastructure, so on-premise or in the cloud. It can be extended with ready-to-go additional capabilities like the image server, the GeoEvent server for real-time data, workflow manager, and more. ArcGIS Enterprise so drive us to the topic number 4. RGS Enterprise on Kubernetes. This is really the biggest new with this release. So it's an alternative to the deployment option on Windows and Linux you already know. It's a new cloud native deployment option, and it's based on the principle of microservices and containerizations. So RGS Enterprise on Kubernetes is divided in small packages of code and configuration files. These packages are deployed in Docker containers, and they can easily be mirrored, replicated, replaced, and etc. And those containers are geared or orchestrated by Kubernetes. The last piece of this environment are the microservices, and they enable rapid, frequent, and reliable delivery of large and complex applications. So, like RGS Enterprise. So these these three main concepts guarantee, optimize scalability. So what normally the cloud offers, resilience and maintainability of your enterprise deployment. So RGS Enterprise on Kubernetes is targeting right now for large, complex RGS enterprise deployment, and especially for companies who already have familiarity with Kubernetes and Docker. And with this, the initial release, so this month, so the 10.9, it is limited to customers with established licensing agreement with ESRI. But this will evolve. RGS Server components of RGS Enterprise currently include two internal runtimes. So one runtime for services published from ArcMap, and a second one for services published from ArcGIS Pro. So these two runtimes have been present for years, running under the hood. So you may have noticed it or not, but this is really the case. So with no plan for an ArcMap 10.9, ArcMap-based runtime will be removed from RGS Enterprise 2022 releases and onwards. So what are the implications of that? So it will be then no longer be possible to publish and maintain services from ArcMap. The removal of the ArcMap-based runtime for RGS Enterprise will affect you if you have RGS Server services leveraging the ArcMap-based runtime. So this will include workflow that's publish with publishing of ArcMap services, or if you consume those services. So you can start migrating your services to the RGS Pro-based runtime right away. And the latest RGS Enterprise 10.9 includes now tools to help you out. So this tool will quickly and easily switch compatible services from one runtime to the other. For services that are not compatible, so I mean by that geoprocessing services or map or feature services or image services which has SOE and SOA, so server object extension and interceptor. And those services will need to be manually migrated. RGS Enterprise 10.9 will be the only set of releases, so take care of that, to include this tooling and migration paths. So we hope to make this transition as smooth as possible for you this way. Our latest release, 10.9, recently out, is full of enhancements and new functionality, and this across many areas of the product. So it covers a number of key features across content and data management, but also portal administration as listed here. So on the roadmap, we also listed for next releases a feature strongly asked by the customer, so webhook on feature editing events. Let us go for ArcGIS Pro for the latest topics. ArcGIS Pro is the professional GIS desktop application with 2 releases per year since 2015, and with nearly hundreds of new functionalities and enhancements per release. It's really hard to pick just out a few highlights. And as you may notice, we only have 2 topics left. So I made a choice. It's hard, but for example here, through its partnership with Autodesk, Esri has opened up the world of GIS to the BIM and vice versa. Recently, Esri has worked on the support for IFC, the open file format specification to describe architectural, building, and construction industry data, and this as a read-only data source. So this new format support will even enlarge GIS and BIM integration to other ecosystems. So the idea of this support is in the same way as for Revit. So for now, we will only support building IFC. Other types like bridge depend on future approved specs. You see also the link to the product roadmap that was designed in January 2021. It will be shortly updated to the latest release. So ArcGIS Pro 10.8, as you see with the new functionality of supporting IFC, has been released last week, so it's available right now. As topic number 1, performance. So new releases of ArcGIS is not only about providing new capabilities, new functionalities, sometimes it's also about enhancements. So in 2021, especially, Esri is focusing on improving performance in several domains. So in project opening, in data loading, data drawing, some interfaces have also been enhancements for loading, data analysis, processing, etc. So this is happening with the latest Pro 2.8 release, but also with the next one later this year. And so we hope you will enjoy the new performance. Here, as an illustration, opening a very big project with tens of maps, layouts, data source. It took only a few seconds with the latest release, but takes more than 1 minute with the previous release. So this is the roadmap of ArcGIS Pro as seen in January early this year. It will be shortly updated as mentioned. So we will provide you that link and to see what's on the roadmap. Our top 10 highlights ends here. Nonetheless, if you would like to see more, you can watch the full plenary session of this Dev Summit 2021 on YouTube. So with the link provided here. It's a great way to quickly get a comprehensive overview of Esri latest innovation. And you will see also some topics just touch or not cover here. So for example, real-time analysis, spatial analysis, utility network, or integrating ArcGIS data in game engines. So we hope you enjoy the work done by Esri and what's on the road ahead. So thanks for your attention. We now have some times for question and answer. So I didn't look at during my presentation to the chat, so I hope my colleague already answered you a lot of question you had so far, but we can take some time to answer the remaining ones.
Bernard, there was a question from Laurent. If the collaboration between portals is available in 10.8.1, but it's not entirely clear to me what is requested. So how he's responding.
So collaboration is yes, is available between portals of ArcGIS Enterprise since not only the last version, but since something like the 10.7. So you can also make collaboration between different versions, but it will be limited to the capability of the oldest one. So I don't. I'm trying to read the post. So, are there any other new question, Wim?
I haven't seen any additional technical questions so far. No.
Okay. I don't see any new question. So in any case, we will share with you the content of this session, at least with the presentation and the links it contains. So, and we will look maybe also to share the complete video. So a question, will ArcGIS Pro user will be able to consume already published services? Yes, so I guess this question is linked to the removal of the ArcMap-based runtime inside ArcGIS server. Yes, ArcGIS Pro will still be able to consume all the web services. So even if they are from or has been published from ArcMap. So yes. In fact, the runtime is a back-end story, but the interfaces from those services are the same, are similar. So even if you have an old runtime behind it, it provides the same interface. But the hosting server, so the one who will host the services for the next versions will not be able to host these ArcMap services. So I don't see any further question.
There's one question, if you can share more information about the performance improvements. We can do that separately, yes. So
yes, there is yes, I recently posted 2 blog articles. One about all the news of this latest version 2.8, and there is a video illustrating all the new performance items, but so it's a good way to start, but also a second article about a pro performance tool to evaluate, and maybe you could use this tool to make the difference between the former version and the last one. So I will share the first link about what's new in ArcGIS Pro 2.8 in the chat. And this link contains the video. Okay, you did it already. So I will share maybe the second one related to the performance tool. So it's a performance assessment tool. I just posted the link in the chat. So based on this question, I have the feeling I choose a right item, last item on performance, because it seems to be interesting for lots of our customers. So here are the links that I will share with you. So you see the links on ArcGIS platforms, on geospatial artificial intelligence, about a video on and to help you starting with ArcGIS for Teams. What's new with ArcGIS Enterprise 10.9, and what's new and the roadmap on ArcGIS Pro. And for that, I should maybe share my screen so you see what's the subject on I'm talking. No. So, okay. So this is the link. We will share you. So a last check of any new question? No? So thanks for your attention. I hope we selected the right subject for you, or to. In any case, we think it will be helpful for you. One or more of the topics. Okay, so we will close the session at this point with no additional question. Have a good day, everyone.